So, so, you want to be a dungeon master.
That's great. We're here now. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Justin. This week, we're taking the road less traveled. Off the beaten path, we're ditching the main plot and we're hitting the side quests. They're not new, side quests have been around forever, but how do dungeon masters successfully navigate the detour and get back on track? And what about if you're doing more of a sandbox setting? Is it all side quests? Well, don't worry, gang. The main plot of this episode is the side quest. So let's get started. But first,
There's
always gotta be about first. Taylor, what is your favorite side quest from a video game, which is kind of where this word even originates from?
I have so many, probably. So many, in fact, that I had to stop and think about even what is a side quest about stuff, because we were talking about that right before we started recording. I think my favorite, though, just because it is separate enough from the main game, and yet if you do it, you get so many good rewards for it, and it's doing the gold chocobo side quest in Final Fantasy VII.
I think you told me about this.
It is kind of a nightmare, but also kind of fun. So basically, what you got to do is you got to first catch 2 chocobos, and then you breed them together and make a baby chocobo, and then you take the baby chocobo and you take it to the races. You got to race the baby chocobo until it beats all the other chocobos with the S rank racing. It gets an S rank rating for the chocobo, and then you take it back and then you breed it with a new chocobo. And then those 2 chocobos make a new, different colored chocobo that has new powers.
Of course.
So the first one is can go over mountains. The second one can go over rivers. The third one can go over oceans. And then the fourth one can go over everything. It's the gold chocobo. And so when you get the gold chocobo, you can get to places on the map that you wouldn't be able, that you can't get to even with the airship and stuff. You have to have the gold chocobo to get to it. And that's how you get the most the best weapons in the game, and also the best materia, like the summon magic in the game.
Okay.
You have to have the gold chocobo to do it. The only problem is the side quest takes probably 5 hours.
Interesting. And is it just doing are you actually racing?
You can put it on autopilot, or you can actually do the racing yourself. But yeah, it is. There's a lot of chocobo racing involved.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like something I would probably not have done, just because it's so repetitive. I'm trying to think of, even in Ratchet and Clank, they had a little bit of and it wasn't like the way you're putting it of you can get to different parts of the map. It wasn't like that, but it was just like a little racing mini game kind of thing. And you could win money, and I think that was the extent of it.
Gotcha.
And maybe a different cut scene because you won X number of times or whatever. But I remember just being like, I only have to do one race in order to keep the story moving. I'm good. I did one. I was like, that was okay. Move on. But there are other video games where I do get lost in side quests. I remember Ghost of Tsushima. I did a lot of side quests, Baldur's Gate, typical stuff. It's D&D practically, so did a ton. Yeah. But for some reason, when my head goes to side quests, the 2 things that pop up, I think if you were to be technical about the term, I don't know if they would constitute as side quests. Okay. They're definitely not related to the plot. However, I don't even know if they're full quests or anything like that. So one of them is in Mario 64.
Okay.
I just remember I was never a big gamer in the sense of speed running or knowing all of the little glitches to do cool things, not just in that game, but in other games as well.
Right.
But I remember that time period before the way the internet is these days and how quick information goes out, right? If there's a secret in a game, everybody knows it instantly these days.
Right.
Spoiled, it's leaked, right? But I remember feeling so fucking cool when you could show somebody, and it's not, what I'm about to say isn't a big secret, but I felt like it was because of my limited video game knowledge and my friend group. I was the gamer, and that tells you how little gaming everybody else did. going through the peach picture and doing the little,
Oh yeah, the
just
secret
getting that
room.
star.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it. No,
Yeah.
I don't even think that's really a side quest. I mean, you get an extra star for it, and I guess, but like, it's so fast and so like
Yeah.
you either know about it or you don't. But it does make
Now
me
that
think
song's
of
stuck in my head.
the aspects of D&D side quests of like maybe not a full side quest, but just like when you're making dungeons, like include a secret room. Why not? Every once in a while, just like a dumb fucking thing that like isn't gonna push the story forward. It's not gonna have villains and enemies and combat and stuff. It's just like, yeah, there is a secret room here. Like, because a lot of times players ask to find secret rooms, and it's like, there's only so many times you can just be like, nat 20. Yeah, you're positive there's no secret room. Like, that's so what a bummer. My other idea for a quote unquote side quest. Got to catch them all. Pokemon.
Oh yeah. There is.
You do
in Final
not
Fantasy X,
have to catch them all.
Yeah.
However,
okay. You're right. You technically don't
it
have to catch
is
any.
part of the game.
Right.
Like, it is part of the game. And like newer iterations, like I know for a fact they did this in the most recent 2 or 3 Pokemon, where like one random NPC will give you little prizes when you up your Pokedex, but like that doesn't count. That's literally nothing. Sorry. So it's one of those things where it's like for a lot of people, that's their quest. Same thing with like shiny hunting. Like that's their quest. That's what they love to do. And so I think that's really, really interesting and super fun. I've tried it even in the older versions and stuff when I had the trading cables, because you had that you needed that stuff in the old ones. But I never did it. I couldn't get a Lickitung. Couldn't get a fucking Lickitung, dude. I know exactly where they're supposed to be on the map. I going back and forth, and I don't have the patience. Like, I'm only walking back and forth and not getting a Lickitung so many times before I'm like, fuck that. And I had like unlimited Master Ball, so like I can catch it. I just gotta see it. And it was so frustrating. But folks, that reminds me of our Patreon, because you're gonna want to go there. You're gonna want to catch it. Catch what? All of the cool homebrew content that we have available there, and also the bonus actions, because we got some fun and silly bonus actions that we've had in the past, fun ones coming up. I think Taylor's preparing us for a pirate one. Who knows what's going to happen? How historical are we going to get? I'll come in with a series. I'm going to tell you guys now, sneak peek, 3 questions I'm going to have for Taylor. And if he can't answer them by the end of the talk, just wait till you see. That's why you got to become a member of the Patreon. All right, meet in the episode. Let's get into it. And Taylor, we'll talk about whatever the punishment is later. The first question is going to be something like, who's Goldbeard? Trick question, he's a wrestler.
And also an NPC in Sea of Thieves.
There you go. I'm not surprised. You throw really anything in front of the word beard, and you got a great pirate.
You do.
I did that in our home game.
Pirates are big on beards back in the day.
But it's fun, like as a DM, truly, you throw anything in front of button beard, and you got a guy full of buttons. And it's just like, I remember I did a crab beard. And he had crabs in his beard. Just like a weird detail. But okay, enough of those side quests, down to the main side quest, which is this one. I did actually go on a side quest in researching some of this, because I headed over to our trusty friend over at the Collins Dictionary, and I typed in side quest because I wanted to know what she had to say. Here's what she said. I've just gendered Collins Dictionary. I have no idea what they refer to themselves as. Today it's she. The Collins Dictionary, this is what she said. It's a new word suggestion. So it's still in the process. It's in the limbo area for words and dictionaries, I suppose. But it's considered a noun. It's a story within a video game that is not part of the main game, otherwise known as a way to refer to a real life objective or a hobby. That's like a more modern take on it. You'll see that all the time. These days, if you Google side quests, some of the search results will be like side quests in Manhattan, because it's like people's
Stuff
lives are
to
NPCs
do.
now when they go to
Right.
work all day, so
Right.
it feels like a fucking side quest.
Yeah.
But additional information that Collins Dictionary had was that side quest began as a video game term. That's what we mentioned at the top, kind of describing a story within the game that wasn't part of the main game storyline. However, it could also be used to describe a hobby or a task completed for fun, e.g., I have a new side quest learning Portuguese, which falls outside of necessary tasks. It's very similar in the context of D&D, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it's the same thing. You have like kind of the main story for most campaigns. That's why I do want to really quickly talk about, because I don't think I really do a great job of outlining it. What about for sandbox games and stuff like that? Is that a little different, or is that like a series of side quests, or is it like,
I
is
mean, you
sandbox
can
still kind of
have a
like,
main plot in a sandbox. You
no,
can
true,
still,
of course,
you
like
know,
Tomb of Annihilation is like that,
right.
where it's
So
very like, we're not going to tell you how to get to the place or where the place even is. You just know that a place exists and you got to find it.
right.
It's very like playing around. But I guess, yeah, unless there's got to be a main plot in order to be or a main quest in order to be a side quest.
Side quest. Right.
Right. I guess suppose so. Unless it really is like a series of side quests or something like that. Which at that point, like you're talking like episodic stuff. And that's almost more like B-line stories or something. It's making me think of like when you watch a serial story, like Supernatural or any like medical drama or whatever. There's like some overarching things maybe, but there's like B stories and all kinds of shit. I don't know.
Final Fantasy 12, they have a side quest series of being a monster hunter, basically. Like you go to a location, they give you contracts, you go out, kill the thing, get rewards. But if you want, you can, there's a point in the game where like once you get your like airship and all that stuff, like get full mobility around the map, there's a point in the game where you can just stop doing the main story and you probably have 10 to 20 hours worth of monster hunts to do because they get so intense. Like one of them is like battling against Gilgamesh. Like it's crazy. It's crazy shit. But again, usually that's how they hide their strongest and like enemies and monsters, super bosses and stuff. Like the Final Fantasy loves their super bosses. So like super boss is like something that after you beat the game and you're already like maxed out for the story considering, then you have like a monster that basically you have to completely max out your character, like level 99, max out whatever, and then you're still having a hard time. Those are the super bosses in Final Fantasy, and that's kind of why I play, because it does get, especially not so much 12 but 10. The strategy of the battles is really fun, and so their super bosses are a lot of fun. But yeah, so much like I'm doing right now, I'm distracting from the main thing as the side quest tangent to get back now to the main thing of like, what are we worried about with side quests? Number one being,
I do think distractions. Yeah, no, you're right. I do think there's part of the biggest worry of a side quest is the distraction itself, is that it's going to draw away from the main plot in some way, shape, or form, that it will detract from it either by distraction or some other form. But it's an interesting thing because I think it's a natural thing to think, because you're like, I think this is a later point, but you're already like, it's already hard to schedule games.
Right.
So the idea that you're doing a ton of side quest stuff is like so fun on paper because of like it's a quintessential thing. Like it happens all the time, right? Like there are even side quest things. Like I'm thinking of, I can't remember the title of the book. I'm literally looking at it, but the behind my laptop is too dark and I can't see it right now. But it's one of those series that's based in Kryn, the Dragonlance series. But they get like kidnapped at one point early on in their adventuring career. The group's together and everybody except for one person gets kidnapped by a bunch of goblins or something like that, and they're like held captive. that happening, them escaping, all fucking, I mean, yes, they learned little things about like maybe main plot stuff, but like those goblins weren't connected to the main plot. Lord of the Rings, goblins in The Hobbit, rather.
Yeah. They're not really
connected to the main plot. The trolls, not connected to the main plot. It's things that happen along the plot. And so there's like different ways of doing it and stuff. So like it happens so naturally that you want to include side quests, but it is hard in D&D when combat takes so fucking long. So like, and it only takes 6 seconds a round. So because of that, like how long it takes in real life versus how short, we talked about that in the past, right? About how hard it is sometimes, like why a 1-shot becomes a 2-shot often. So a side quest becomes a main quest if you fuck around too much. So it's like, whoa, you have to figure some things out. So I understand that worry. That's a real one. The other thing is, what if the side quest is more fun than the main quest?
Do more side quests. I don't know. No, I think side quests are fun because they are not part of the main plot, because they are kind of a lot of times relatively low stakes. That might not always be the case, but with side quests and stuff, it's not like you're trying to
dying
save the
during
world.
A side quest feels crazy.
Dying during side quest does feel crazy, and it's it is kind of just, I think that just the act of like break every once in a while, you need a break from the actual main story, especially if your story is like a heavy story, or even if not, and you've just been working on the same quest of, oh, we got to find this big bad, but now we got to track down his lieutenants, and we got to track down this, we got to find his hideout and all this other stuff. And it's like every once in a while you need a break from that, and like, hey, go to this fluffy cloud planet and you save some gummies or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I totally get what you're saying. Like it sometimes is a respite. Sometimes you need a break from the main plot. And it's not that the main plot is bad or anything. It's just like, hey, these characters would probably keep going forever until its mission complete. But we're human beings playing these characters, and I, Justin, need a break from fucking the 9 hells.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it is that of like, I'm sure my character would just like finish the fucking mission and then go to the cloud planet. But because in that world, the world's actually under fire, like literal fire. These days, it's just a little bit of hellfire in real life. We're not at full nuclear war
just
yet.
A little brimstone, just a little.
A little bit.
But
they say. So you're gonna feel that imposter syndrome. That's natural. You're gonna feel maybe your ego's hurt a little bit. You're like, oh man, what's going on? You still made up the side quest. Like, shut up. Unless you're homebrewing the main quest and then you module the side quest. That does suck. But that it is what it is, bro. They're modules. They're fucking written to be read and enjoyed by other people. So good thing other people are enjoying them. Whatever. So also, I think you said it a little bit as a joke, but I also know you enough to think that you probably meant some of it, is like, if your side quest is so Star Spangled awesome, think about making that into your main quest and finding if there's a way, find a way to merge them. If not, then it is what it is. But maybe you can make them. You're like, you know what? Actually, the devils, they're here on the cloud planet. You walk into the dry sauna. There's a bunch of devils hanging out in there. What the fuck are you doing in here? They're smoking in the dry sauna. You're not supposed to do that.
Not supposed to do that. But they're devils.
They're gonna lose their club membership. Yeah, big time. So now another worry is that if this side quest, because this can happen depending on the side quest, but let's say that we're doing a side quest all about one character, or maybe like mainly about one of the PCs. What about main character syndrome, or feeling like we're focusing only on one character and playing favorites, or all of those things? That could be a worry. And I understand where people are coming from with that worry, because campaigns end all the time abruptly and without planning. And so you may have the fear of like, God, what if I don't get to the other players? Because that's the goal, of course. Like, I would hope, at least, unless you're like a weird toxic DM and you're like, I'm trying to flirt with this girl at my table. Side quest, side quest, side quest. Shut the fuck up, bro. What are you doing? Sorry. I'm picturing what some of those Reddit stories we've read.
Yeah. It seems like you're channeling them for a second there.
Truly. I was just watching Smosh Shane Reed's Reddit stories, and I'm just like, so I'm already in the mindset of just like gremlins.
That's funny.
Straight up gremlins. But
side quests.
Do we even need side quests? Technically, no, we don't need side quests. So why do them? Why do the extra?
Definition of the side quest?
Exactly.
But I think it depends on the game. Obviously, we're gonna shout out to our sponsors. Depends on the game. Obviously for a one shot, not gonna be a lot of side quests. But I think
that's the thing.
Side quests are crucial when it comes to long run campaigns. Just simply to break the monotony of we're going from point A to point B to chase down this guy and do this thing and whatever. And obviously you can make some of these side quest things, like ideas that are side quests, can be turned into plot points, but it kind of is just nice to have the low stakesness of side quest that is like, oh, let's go to we're in the Feywild and we're gonna play football, or the hamster, or what was it, porcupine ball or whatever.
Ultimate hedgehog.
Ultimate hedgehog. That's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. So like that's just something fun to do. That's super
truly
low stakes, and it's, again, if your party's having fun and you're having fun, then you're doing it right.
So why, you mentioned some reasons already. There's so many reasons about why side quests can be important, but also dope, also just good to add to your thing. One is that you can give a character some extended spotlight. You can do a little bit of focusing in on each individual character in their own time, getting to introduce the party to their family or their spouse or like whatever, their hometown maybe, or maybe it's just getting their family, their found family, their adventuring party, to like help them take on their own villain that's specific to them, that isn't connected to the whatever, whatever it is. Find their relative that's missing. We'll talk about some ideas you can come up with later, but I think that is so fun for me. Me, I love the cold intro. They're not cold intros usually, but like sometimes they are. But the intros that I do sometimes for actual plays, often I've gotten into the habit of doing it a ton, actually, where I just do the individual intros and give each character a moment to shine. So like, I love that. And I love doing it with a side quest. I've done it in the past. I'll do it again. Side quests don't need to be 100%. This is maybe an interesting point. I wrote this before I read an article today about how strict some people are about the word side quest. I wrote, side quests don't need to be totally isolated. Put that in caps. Totally isolated from the main plot. For example, you can introduce new info or NPCs that could come into the main plot later.
So yeah, and I think that is a very good point. I was going to say something earlier and it totally evacuated my brain, but this kind of falls back into the same situation. But it makes me think of that arc in Bleach with the where the Zanpakuto kind of gain sentience,
become a person, become
yeah. It's
dude.
something kind of like that, where you're learning a lot about other some of the other Shinigami. You're learning stuff about the way that the little court of Shinigami works, and all that stuff. But you're following these silly like baboon swords and stuff around while
these like manifestations
yes
of the swords powers and stuff. Yeah,
Right.
it was so cool.
Yeah.
That arc was so interesting.
It
I
was
remember it being like,
very cool. But I would consider that,
whoa,
even though it was an entire like narrative arc for Bleach, that's a side
truly.
quest. That was like a side thing. Like
Yeah,
they
it was
really
a
it had
totally
because
random arc
they
that
were
came out of
doing
nowhere.
like Ichigo was doing a thing and he was doing some training thing, and then it was like, hey, we're gonna go into
Oh,
this
we ran out of manga.
huge arc. And then, oh, by the way, did you remember that Ichigo's still here fighting this dude? This was like
Yeah.
a separate timeline.
Life or death fight here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane, dude. I did love Bleach so much though.
Yeah.
I loved Bleach. I loved the can't remember like what their name was. But the ones that were like, oh wait, it's almost coming to me. Starts with an A, maybe? Oh no, I lost it again. They used Spanish a lot. I just remember that and being like, oh, that's really interesting. I really liked them a lot. But anyway, like Grimjaw, hell yeah. So side quests can be dope for so many reasons. It's another really good way to explore more of the setting.
Yeah.
You can have side quests be specific to different settings, give your players and their PCs an opportunity to explore new things. We're doing an impromptu side quest kind of thing that is like weirdly connected to the main plot, but is also like totally spontaneous side thing that I wasn't anticipating and that we're coming up with together. And it's awesome. And it's truly like they had to plane shift away from a fight. And now we're on a different plane of existence because it lets the magic item they had is like a weird one where like you don't necessarily choose the exact plane you want to go to. So it was fun. It was fun. So now they're on the Beastlands and we get to explore that plane. And wouldn't you know it, one of the PC's deities is on this plane, which was genuinely luck that just so happened to happen. That was insane.
Because
we because it's not like
rolling
a
dice for
deity.
all of the stuff.
Yeah. We were rolling dice to see which plane, which layer of the plane, all this stuff. And then like, it was just the side quest all in itself. You can also use them to explore more genres. Try something new. We've done that with our games. Like sometimes when somebody's not there, here's another reason why side quests could be dope that I didn't write down. If somebody's not there, like a player's missing the session, and you're like, okay, well, we are trying to save that character's dad, so probably should not do this session, you know? So, okay, side quest. Perfect. And then you just bop it out of time. Like, surely there was a week in the game unaccounted for in the universe. Like, you could squeeze it in. And even if there's not, fuck you for being so serious. What are you, writing a book? Come on, bro. You know what I mean? Come on. Just have fun, god dang it. So, like, we did one that was like a murder mystery. Like Knives Out style, where tieflings who had different skin colors, so that, you know, a red one, a blue one, a green one, a yellow one, whatever, and they all had their own motives for killing Mrs. White, the white skinned tiefling, and and it was awesome. We also did a like buddy cop procedural, like Law and Order with you and Fellas.
Yeah, that was
where it was very like CSI, like I think
Go to the
you
locations.
kept cracking jokes too, and we kept
always.
It was just like the fucking CSI Miami thing of just like the wow.
Yeah. Me, I've never done that. I have no idea what you're talking about. Not one time in my life have I done that.
It was awesome when you did that so many times. So then there's just so many cool things. I mean, obviously, feel free to catch it on YouTube. We're doing a medical drama right now talking about genres, but and that's on YouTube. The couple episodes are already out by the time this comes out. So you can also try new mechanics, try different like interesting little things. If you want to like explore with a new monster, you found some cool third party things. Side quest is a perfect opportunity to experiment with some stuff. So for DM, side quests can be awesome. Because there's going to be times when you're doing a long campaign, you're going to feel that same thing that the players are feeling of like, damn, we've been going after this same guy for so long. DMs feel that too. And so sometimes the DM wants the little bit of a respite, even though you don't have a character in the game to have that respite through. It's like, no, it still affects you. It's still good. And then you can also, this is like a little tricksy little DM thing behind the scenes. you could also use it as a way to retcon something or cover up a plot hole kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something that happened earlier in the campaign. Maybe the players keep asking about it and you're like, fuck, you're right. Use the side quest, just a random little thing, and then throw in like a clue that covers it up. I don't know. I think you could figure out a way. I've definitely done that in the past. So now, when you're doing side quests for people at your table, ordinarily, the way I see it at least, is that those side quests, broadly speaking, can be split into two categories. And it's like there are general side quests that the whole team can just like participate in and kind of swap with anybody. And then you have ones that are like PC specific.
Right.
Ones that are a little bit more specific towards a player or a character.
Yeah.
Of course, with the exception of like maybe two characters are like twins and it's like, oh, they're brother and sister. So maybe it's about both of them. That would be like an exception, but still you're going after like specific people. So like as you're pulling focus towards that one particular or two or three, whatever, however it's done, PCs, like what is it about? What is that side quest about? Why are we going on this side quest? Why are we taking this time?
Right.
Because if it's specifically about one person, I mean, of course this could happen during like a downtime thing. And then like you're just mentioning certain things that are going more specific. It's like, okay, you're going to the shop, you're working on that project, you're doing the bastion, blah, blah, blah. This person, all right, you're going. And I guess you could do it. But when I think of it, I think of when I'm trying to draw inspiration for like, oh, here's a good side quest area in our campaign or you know, oh, okay, player 1 and player 2 have had the side quest. I need to make one for player 3. Where do I draw inspiration from? I think the biggest one is backstory, but I want to cover that in a second. The other one I think is you could just draw from like their class and get a lot of ideas from that. Whether you use those ideas as whatever, it's just like a starting point, an inspiration thing, brainstorming sesh. So like I just included a couple of examples here, but like for the barbarian, you could have the PC go through some sort of training regimen by a strong master in order to further their control of rage or whatever. Now, some of these things can get even more specific depending on the subclass, right? If they're Path of the Zealot, then maybe it's a religious leader. Maybe it's a monk who's beating the shit out of them and that's the training, but the monk is also like half cleric or whatever, right?
Right.
Maybe it's, if they're berserker, then maybe it's another barbarian. So it's like you can kind of play around with that and get even more specific. Then like a cleric, you could do a million different things, probably deity related, you know? You have to go to a really specific place of worship, you know, like, because there's like the obvious of like, you can go visit your god or like go visit a temple. But I was thinking almost more like how like people do pilgrimages to Mecca and stuff like that. Like that idea.
Yeah.
Of
And
like you got to go to this holy place and the place is fraught with monsters or whatever.
Yeah, I like the idea of like a lost statue of a deity like buried in the woods somewhere where you kind of like you have to go find it. Kind of like in oh god, in Elden Ring. There are a bunch of statues that you go to and they each have like a boon of some sort to like you can upgrade your potion that you drink to give yourself buffs and stuff. Like you get that from going and finding these statues that are hidden in the wilderness.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that idea for like a cleric type of deal, like a lost temple in the woods that it's overgrown and you got to go to this specific
You bring up a
statue.
really good point, actually. The side quest doesn't even necessarily need to be like a straight up A to B start and finish bing bang. Right? Like sometimes I think even myself get trapped in the idea of like the side quest is like, because I'm used to the way I do D&D is like so like leveling is just like milestone leveling. So like I think of the entire story in that way. So one level to another level is like a big part of is just like a chapter of the story. So that would be the side quest normally. But a really interesting way of thinking about side quests more related to video games and bringing it into D&D is to have something like that. A series of things like a fucking a coupon punch card, if you will.
Right.
Of being like, every time you go to a place, you got to look for this thing, this MacGuffin, whatever it is. And it's connected to your character, maybe, or maybe it's connected to, like, I don't know, whatever, the world, the setting. Yeah, who knows? But I like that a lot because I do have some of those actually in our game, my paid home game. There's a lot of that, of like, there's these little side things, these like beeline stories that are following with us. They're not as simple as like a quick side quest, check it off the list, don't have to think about it anymore.
Right.
So it's really interesting. I like that a lot. That makes me think. The next one example I had was just the wizard. I had this interesting idea of your old mentor is on their deathbed and wishes to speak to you one last time, but their wizard's tower is located in a different plane of existence. A cool excuse to get the party away for a little bit. Check out a new plane. However you want that wizard's tower to be set up could be really fucking cool, you know?
Yeah,
he forgot to like turn off the booby traps. Like, you could have a lot of fun with stuff like that, especially a wizard, an old wizard too. You're talking right up my alley. Hello, it's me, Jasper. I'm all powerful, baby. I put Jasper in every fucking game I can think of, dude. He's in every story. He's in Oops All Healers. He's in episode 1, I think. Yeah,
I heard.
He shows
up.
I
was there.
It's crazy. Now, if you're not going off the class, you can go off subclass, go really specific, go off whatever. But the backstory is probably the easiest place to draw from, I think. You can use that side quest to do a lot of things. Resolve some kind of conflict or an issue. That's really broad. That can mean a million things. Learn more about their own family or their history. Like right now, I'm planting the seeds. I want to go back to the Shadowfell in the Sword Coast, like my other game.
Right.
So I'm planting the seeds for the Raven Queen stuff by having the Raven Queen randomly show up every once in a while for one of the characters. And that's going to be I'm setting up a side quest for later. But that side quest is like also low key related because it's truly like, why did this Raven Queen choose you? Because she can see all of like fate and destiny. And she's like, I have to, if I don't get in contact with you and change your trajectory, then things fuck up.
Right.
Like she's pure, like she's like Doctor Strange, right? Like she's like, oh, if I don't help you, the world's fucked. Yeah. Like I have to help you. And that's why I'm getting involved.
To save the multiverse.
Yeah. So I can't wait for that. And that has to do with the way I'm doing it. And this one is actually similar to yours, which is why it works so perfectly. So for you, I used your backstory. You have this fallen brother. I used the Raven Queen, goddess of life and death or the passing of. And so it was very easy to make these little connections of like, no, the Raven Queen knows where your brother is, has your brother, saved your brother, was the one who killed your brother, fill in the blank, whatever you want to do. But like, this PC in my other game has a sister who passed away. Same thing. And she's a wizard, and her sister was a really powerful wizard who was specifically researching like hardcore magic, like forbidden, rare, secretive magic. AKA what I'm considering is like time magic, specifically time and gravity magic kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so I'm tying all this stuff together. So it's like, boom, the Raven Queen's going to be able to help her. Guess who killed her sister? The Trace Visoros, because I'm planting those seeds, baby. That's going to come up later. Planting all those seeds. So another thing you have to find something. You have to find someone. It's a journey, you know, another great way to explore a setting and stuff like that by using one of the characters' stories in order to give your party a reason to go.
Yeah.
There's also revenge or closure. Maybe it's one of those very classic. My name is Inigo killed Montoya. My family. Yeah, Inigo Montoya. Exactly. Something like that. there's tons of ways, tons of different ways that you can use somebody's backstory to come up with some ideas for side quests that could be specific towards them. I've done everything from like one character, she has this backstory of being a librarian, but it's a special society of librarians who go around traveling and collecting material from the multiverse. And she does a lot of training. And I remember she had an interest in the Feywild. So it was like, okay, Sunny's side quest will be Feywild related. But how do I get you guys to go to the Feywild? Because that's the interesting thing in our campaign is like, even if you watch like Critical Role campaign 1, it's really like 3 major arcs and they're each their own BBEGs.
Right.
Vecna gets sprinkled in as like foreshadowing early on, but he never really becomes a thing until like way later.
Right.
And so it's these like super separate arcs that are like so different because we have like, we take out the one dragon, then we fight a beholder, then we take on the Briarwoods, then we take on this, then we take on, or the like Chroma Conclave, then we take on Vecna. So the whole time there's like totally different BBEGs. My home game, our home game, one BBEG throughout the entire story.
Yeah.
So side quests are interrupting this whole thing. It's not, okay, we took out Corvus Cancer, the BBEG, and now we have plenty of time to go on side quests. It's not like that. So I always feel like I need to give the party, their characters, reasons to go on side quests. So sometimes I really hope it makes my life so much easier when the party members in the game like each other, or at least have each other's back a little bit. Cause like, it's fun to like bicker and be like, nah, you're a jerk. But like, what if your character gets a side quest and then you're like, you turn around and you're like, I don't want to go on your side quest. I don't like you. And it's like, okay, now what am I going to do? The DM, like, you're making my life hard, man.
Yeah. And this is also this is an example, a true life example of, hey, so my character found his brother. I don't know that I'd keep adventuring anymore. I think my character would just leave.
God. Yeah, he finished his side quest and then that was it, because it turned out his side quest was his main quest. The main quest never mattered to him as much as his own side quest.
Right.
And therein lied the problem. And it was like, I don't know.
So we had to sit, and like, really and honestly though, like, it just is annoying because we had to sit down and try to convince him to stay in the party and not make a whole new character, that we had to do all new backstory stuff, all new, reintroduction stuff. And
it's just one of those things where, it was hard because it's like, hey man, I'm all down for like people wanting to change class or like change their character and stuff. Like, I get it. But it is one of those things where you're just like, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. And like, what do we want the characters who are staying to do? Do we want them to truly just like play along and be like, whoa, new guy in the group. Hey, you know what? I trust him. Instant, like, just to make it easier for everybody. Cause there's like above that group at the time had a lot of, but I think if I'm looking here at the notes, right, we should move on. And I think, I think that when you're doing side quests, you need to be mindful. You need to be mindful because if one of the players is getting the main, I like how I wrote this. So I shouldn't have said that. I should have just played it off like I'm coming up with it in the spot. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, my fans, our fans, the folks at home. I love you. Even if one of the players is getting the main course, make sure the other PCs are eating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, they're still here. They're still part of the story. They're still like human beings that you're playing a game with. So don't be like, even when we're going, like, your character's named Cal, we're going after Cal's family. We're learning about his backstory and we're doing things in the name of Cal's story.
Mm-hmm.
But Cal is a part of Fellis's story. Cal is a part of Sunny's story and vice versa.
Right.
You guys, but thank God for the way our group and our friend base plays that game and what we've seen in a lot of our actual plays when we like meet these people, sometimes for the first time, but by the end of the show, it's always like, fuck, these guys are awesome. They're my best friends. So like, but thank God it's usually been this way. But like, you guys, your party members are so close that it does feel that way, where it's like, it's natural that you guys would help each other.
Mm-hmm.
And also natural for me then to be like, okay, well, we're going to be doing Taylor's character's backstory for like 3 sessions, which is we play every 2 weeks. That's like a month more. So like, I'm going to respect the other people's time as much as I'm respecting Taylor's, because I want his character to feel good and to tailor it for, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're balancing a couple things, but still, it's just not the hardest thing in the world. Just to kind of be like, okay, how do I do this? Okay, well, Taylor's the main thing. Taylor's the one who's going to get the biggest prize at the end, so to speak, whether that's a mechanical or a story or RP thing, whatever. And we'll highlight Taylor's character along the way. But each session is over 3 hours. We play for, 4-ish hours, 4 or 5 hours sometimes. I can throw in the 20-minute scene for one of the other players. Like, that's not crazy. Of course you do. Not to mention we have a small party, so it's very easy. And it's almost mandatory. Imagine if I left out Megan or Allie for an hour. It would be like, oh, Justin's mad at them or something. So be mindful. Think about that. Giving the other players things to do, things to interact with, things to learn. Maybe I've even done it before where like there's ways to eventually tie everything together practically, right? Like even in Cal's backstory, I think 1 or 2 things happened that might have been kind of specific for Sunny and or Fellis, right? Like that just is how things are going to happen. The other thing is discussing with the table. I think that it could be super helpful to just be like, hey, gang, we're about to go on a side quest. Here's how it's going to work. Don't worry. I'm going to get to everybody. But this time we're going over Jeremy's character, whatever. Right. Like, I think that could help a lot. And even talking during it and being like, hey, gang, I've done this. Actually, I've gotten really good at this side quest, the Magic Island in Sword Coast 2. How many random nautical adventure encounters do we want to do? Because you guys are your characters are on the boat for a week, but do we want to do 3 random encounters for 7 days? I don't know. I'm kind of down for it if you're down for it, but if you're not down for it, I don't want to do it. I want enthusiastic consent. Otherwise, I'm not down.
Right.
So like, if you guys don't want to do all these random encounters, let's skip the whole boat venture. We'll do 1 so that you got your characters can experience being on a boat. But then like we'll fucking move it along and no problem. So that conversation, because we had that conversation, I had it better in my second playthrough of Sword Coast 2 because in our playthrough, it took us 6 months. Because we did a lot of nautical encounters and we all loved them.
Every single party member.
I recommend. So what I recommend is to talk a lot. But what I also should think is, or should say is, in our group, we do this nice thing where if it is Taylor's character's time to shine, then whenever there comes up to be like a big decision that could kind of go either way, should we go to the main town by boat or should we go through the forest? Usually, if Taylor's character is the main person in this line, in the storyline, then Taylor will get a little bit more say than the other characters for those types of little story decisions. But it's never like that crazy. It's never like if the other two players genuinely were like, guys, we're gonna die, we can't fight them, and Taylor was like, no, this is my side quest. Like that's not how it would ever play out in our group. At least we have enough communication and friendship that it just won't happen. But like, yeah, I get all the more reason to use communication, but that's how we do it. Just to be like, anytime it comes down to like, okay, what do you guys want to do next? It usually is like, okay, well, we're here for Fellas, so let's let Fellas kind of figure out what to do next.
Yeah.
That's how we do it usually. That's like the default, but that's not necessarily true all the time. There are plenty of times where Cal will say, no, I want your guys' opinion on this or whatever, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So it just depends. So that's our table. It might work for your table. It depends on how you guys do it. We have the benefit of a very long campaign where everybody's gotten a side quest by this point.
Right.
Fellis's was almost part of the main quest because her mom was just a super important. I made a very important NPC, and then Fellis made her character with her mom, and I was like, oh, they can be the same person. Let's just do that. And so her character's mom is just part of the story. So that was the whole thing. And then her dad is also part of the story. That's so fun. I love playing Dresden.
Dresden's great.
Sunday was really fun for me.
Yeah.
But now we get into general side quests. So these are side quests that kind of anybody can do. It doesn't really matter what your class is or what your backstory is or whatever. You can kind of do any of these. Now, maybe you can flavor them because of backstory. Maybe you can make them even better with your backstory, of course, but you don't. Yeah, I mean, anybody can do downtime, right? And that could be a side quest in its own right, where you're doing different things. So, like, the thing with side quests is you should respect the player's time. I do think that it's important if you're solely, I'm making the assumption that there are DMs out there who will plan side quests without talking to the table. Low key in the way that I did the first time around on the nautical thing, the fact that it took 6 months before me fully being like, hey guys, is this taking too long? Like I could have easily asked that at any point. Granted, anybody could have also talked to me, been like, hey, Justin. So like it does go both ways. I do think as somebody who's like a forever DM, I put my own impetus on myself to have a little bit more responsibility to bring things up, but that's just my own thing. Like I
was having fun. Yeah,
I know. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Yeah.
I'm not putting it on you. I'm
just, in that specific scenario. Yeah.
The Magic Island's sick.
Yeah, the Magic Island's sick. I really like doing all the nautical stuff. I would like to do nautical stuff again. But that is.
I know you guys have a boat.
Right, we do have a boat and a crew.
Side quest anytime, but
right.
I do think there may be times where
we're going fishing.
There should be times where you are like, do I need this side quest? Is this side quest actually important? Is it a good use of our time? Or were you just not prepared for the main quest? Which is okay.
It's okay.
So what's important for everybody at the table is having fun. So that's the most important thing. But also below that, if fun is the most important thing, like just making sure that everyone's having a good time, then like below that is like, what do you want for your character? Why are you playing D&D other than just having fun? It's like, oh, I want to tell a cool story. Oh, I want to make a badass character. Everybody has their own reasons past just the having fun idea. But I think you can use a general side quest is a great way of exploring a new setting, an environment, a town, a plane of existence, something like that. We're doing that in the Beastlands right now. We've done that in the Shadowfell, the Feywild, Pandemonium, even though Pandemonium and the Shadowfell, Pandemonium more so. Pandemonium was kind of part of
the main quest, plot,
but still, it was like I made it part of the main plot. That I could have put that.
We did a lot
anywhere.
of non-main. Not a lot. We did some non-main plot stuff there.
Well, the Unseelie Court thing was very side plot.
Yes.
That was very side plot. Where my interpretation of the Seelie and Unseelie Court is like, well, what if they were like a courtroom? Like a legal court. like the court of New York or whatever. And so it was like, that's hilarious. And then what if they subpoena one of the PCs and they have to come to this court? And then what if the defense attorney is just, oops, they're not there that day. And so, well, we need representation. So we just call on somebody in the audience who's got Fey blood in them. Technically, Fellis does because of reasons. And it just like was so perfect and fun. I think that's an awesome idea. Because truly that was me being greedy, where I was like, well, I want to go to the Pandemonium. I want to go to a cool plane. So it's like, all right, this evil bard, where's his hideout? Anywhere I want it to be. And this time it's on Pandemonium.
Right.
So it was like, whatever. So that's like my own side quest, truly. Right? Like I made it part of the main plot, but like I just wanted to go to another plane of existence. I was tired of the material plane, dude. So like the other thing is obviously just like respite and downtime. A beach episode. Go back and listen to episodes where we talk about beach episodes. The only episode so far where Taylor and I are in the same place.
Yeah.
Go and listen to that one where we talk all about beach
episode.
episodes and downtime and respite and stuff like that. So just it's its own thing. It depends on, I guess, how you handle it. There's parts of it that I think don't feel very side questy if it's truly 100% downtime.
Right.
I feel like you need something to do. Otherwise, it's not a side quest.
Right. Yeah.
If
yeah.
you're truly just like running errands.
Yeah. Downtime itself is not a side quest, but you know, like a beach volleyball tournament or something along those lines. So like a beach, you know, doing a beach day. That could be a side quest.
Something. Yeah, right. There needs to be some kind of activities, some mechanics involved. Something, some kind of conflict, whatever it is. You know,
even if it's a super low stakes freaking sandcastle competition, like
it could be anything. Yeah. Who used Fellis's special raspberries? They're all out. And so Fellis goes into the refrigerator, and then it becomes a whole crime episode. Fellis is going around freaking out. Who put the hands in the cookie jar? That kind of thing. I don't know.
If it was food going missing around the house, it was probably Cal.
I mean, that's what everybody thinks. That's what everybody wants to think. Maybe Cal's being framed. Right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely right. Everyone would immediately think it was Cal.
Yeah.
If cookies went missing, everybody's like, "Where's the crumbs? They're going into the dojo." So like all different kinds of things you could do on downtime to make it a little bit more interesting. It could be a random attack from just like random burglars who have no idea that these are adventurers. Like it's just funny things like that. Whatever. Also, you can set things up for the future. Now, what I mean by that is now it's a side quest, but maybe we'll look back on it later and be like, oh, actually, that was super connected.
Right.
You know what I mean? A little bit like, I'm trying to think of a good example. There's kind of like Sunny's side quest feels a little that way because of what I think I've said it above board too at our home games. What I'm planning for like level 20 post Cancer.
Right.
So like in our home game, to give people the lowdown, in our home game right now, they're going after a very powerful archdevil. That's the BBEG. However, I'm starting to plant seeds, and I've been planting these seeds of a future story because it would be so random and I genuinely can't fit it into the story in a way that makes sense. I decided to make it a level 19, 20 kind of thing of after the BBEG. And that is, I'm introducing a bunch of Fey monsters who are based on the 7 deadly sins. And they have different powers. Pride is the most powerful one. And they are trying to take over or create, rather, a third court in the Feywild. And so that's happening. Behind the scenes, it's unrelated to Cancer and in the BBG. They don't care about him at all. They're not trying to go after the material plane. They're trying to fuck up the Feywild.
Right.
Sunny's character, Megan's character rather, named Sunny, loves the Feywild, has a connection to it, has been studying it forever. We go there to save one of her friends, Sunny's friends, from wrath. one of the sins.
Mm-hmm.
That's planting the seed. You guys on the magical island battled the little crab guys. That was greed. So you guys have already fought 2 out of the 7. But now it's like, okay, so it's like was a side quest, and it will remain a side quest for most of this, right? But once it flips over to going into the 7 deadly sin portion, it becomes part of the main plot.
Yeah.
So it's like this interesting little thing. But I just think that there's so many different ways you can like make the side quest important. You're just throwing in information, really. It's just information, whether it's upgrades, like you mentioned the golden chocobo thing about how like you can get, if you want, the best armor, the cool stuff. Same can be true for side quests. The only time I don't do that is when a player is absent and I'm doing a random out of timeline thing.
Yes.
Because then it becomes weird, because it's like, well, that player wasn't here because of are we going to get into like why players don't show up, and like, well, they weren't here for a really good family emergency reason, and so it would be weird to give you guys loot and not them, and are we going to even get into that? No. So I just don't give loot for those types of side quests, right? Like if you're going on a side quest to the Shadowfell where you guys are going from level 12 to level 13, yeah, I'm going to give you fucking loot along the whole way.
Right.
But that's different. So
if we're doing just a random procedural legal drama through Waterdeep, I mean, what's really the loot?
I know. Sometimes because you guys actually did get loot in that. I don't know if you recall, but it was the kind of loot that I love giving, which is just role play loot. It doesn't matter at all. And it was sunglasses. You and Fellas both got aviators.
Yeah. So that we could do our one-liners and take them off or put them on.
Aha. So you admit it. You did a lot of one-liners. Got him, gang. Got him. Earlier in the episode, you denied it, but we have it on track, folks. I'm recording. Yep, there it is. Okay. As Taylor leaves, player absence is the next one on the list, it says. So, what I will say is,
move on without him.
I've already mentioned how we handle it. Usually, because we have such a small party in our home game, it's like one person missing. We just do something different. Usually, because most of the time we're at a high level of the game. We're level 15. Things are important. Stakes are high. It feels weird to not have a 1/3 of the party there, especially because the combats are like impossible at that point, unless I'm making them new or special for 2 people. And I don't want to do that. So it's interesting. What we do is then an out of timeline kind of story, or we'll play a Jackbox, or we'll just postpone, or I want to try and get Kids on Bikes going for one of those where it's just, I like Kids on Bikes, and it's just so much easier. I can just bullshit so hard with Kids on Bikes.
Yeah.
So all different kinds of things you can do. But also you can explore new ideas and fun ideas. Like how we did murder mystery things, and how we did crime dramas, and all the different things.
Yeah.
It depends on how many players are missing.
Try out playing, Ultimate Hedgehog. Try out some other games. Yeah, you can. This is the time to do it when you're doing these side quests. Is the time to be testing out, random fun things that you find on the internet that seem interesting but may or may not work. We'll throw it into this little side quest thing, and if it works, cool. If it doesn't, oh well. It's
100%. 100%. When we did that murder mystery thing, it was kind of based on Knives Out. And Knives Out plays with time a little bit, right? There's a little timey-wimey stuff with it. And so I decided to try and do that with a TTRPG, with D&D. Can I have the session begin? We already know the woman's murdered. You guys get to one-on-one interview all of the suspects. Then we rewind back to the start of the dinner party. The woman is still alive. But you guys don't know that there's a murder about to happen. And so it was like a really fun experiment. It was I think, like, I look back on that experience and I think about it only with good thoughts. Like, yes, it was a little clunky and it was a little weird, but like I loved it because I learned a ton. I learned oh, I do think this is possible. I just think that it is like I'm missing a couple of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what it told me is like, okay, it's not that this isn't working 100% or like it could never work. It's just it was slightly clunky because of maybe a couple of things. Maybe I did the timing a little wrong, or maybe the murder mystery idea isn't the vibe for it, or maybe something. I don't know. So I only would have tried. That's not necessarily something. I don't know how I would have done that for the main plot. Done a weird time jump thing. Like that's crazy to just experiment with that. So of course you use the side quest for it because it's like, well, this is happening out of time. So it's an interesting thing too. I mean, obviously the out of time part and using the same characters as the main plot and saying, oh yeah, this happened a month ago. Some people are going to be like, oh, doesn't that mean that they have like plot armor and stuff? And it's like, yeah, they do. And guess what? Who cares? Whatever, bro.
Yeah.
Do you want to play D&D or not? Honestly. But gang, I think, I guess really quickly, let's discuss getting quote unquote back on track. The ends of side quests.
Yeah.
Because there's like, not including the ones that you kind of said, which I like, the ones that you're kind of like picking a part of it, little mini things along the way, like finding a certain number of talismans or whatever, you know? Ghost of Tsushima has that too, where you have to like find, there's like a fox and then you have to follow the fox to a little thing. And, or there's like this number of hot baths, like hot springs that you have to like find. And you just like, it's just like a save point. But at the same time, it's like, you got to find them all. I love stuff like that. The sword challenges to make your sword sharper or better or whatever.
That's
little
really
things.
Like.
It's like you don't have
got
to
a lot
do
of
that
stuff.
Yeah. So fun. So get like when it's something like that, it's a little different because it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go find the fox. Fox brings me to a thing, and I'm immediately back on track because that took 2 seconds.
Right.
So if it's something of like, okay, as you guys are walking through the misty forest, Gragnar, look at that over there. Make a perception check. You think you might see something that's familiar to you. Oh, you go check it out. You got the thing, mark a check off your notes. Fantastic. Back on the path. Like it 2 seconds to do that little thing.
Right.
Of course, you can go into more detail and however you're doing it, give it some respect. But at the same time, there are some that don't take any time at all. But the type of side quests where you're like, hey, we got to go save my brother. We got to go to the Feywild to fight a monster. We have to go, I don't know, protect these dwarves from a beholder, whatever the side quest is. How do we get back into the main plot?
I think one way of doing it is having, a convenient sending spell or message show up at the end. Be like, hey, by the way, you guys have been out doing stuff. Things have gotten a little worse.
Help!
Yeah,
we're under attack.
It just it feels like a little bit of the if you've seen some of the memes of Breath of the Wild where it's like you've been asleep for 100 years. Like you've been, what have you been doing? Link have been holding Ganon back for 100 years. What have you been doing? And it cuts to Link in Mario Kart. Like it's that kind of situation where it's like, okay, yeah, now there does come a point, it's even in Zelda where you've like been doing a bunch of side quests and stuff. Eventually Zelda's like, hey, still here, bud.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
So you could do something like that, just a friendly, gentle reminder, and not necessarily, it doesn't have to be friendly, but some kind of a gentle reminder, like, hey, by the way, world's still fucked. Or
100%. Just a snap back to reality. Keying into putting your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the rest of the world in the larger scale of things, reconnecting with some of the touchstones of the plot of the main story, whether that's important NPCs, important locations. You can use any of that, an important deity to reach through or something. Yeah, there's all different ways to do it. You could have the villain reach out. Hey, motherfuckers, you thought I was gone? You thought, you did a little side quest? Guess what? I'm doing side quests too. I'm stronger too.
Play for keeps.
That's Vecna.
Mm.
Anyway, this is sponsored by DraftKings. Sports betting. Kalshi. Fuck you. All right. So listen, gang, it's that time of the week again.
Yeah.
It is that time of the week again. Time for Monster of the Week.
Me too.
Gang, we got a good one though. I told you last week that we did one from Indonesia and that we were going to have another one this week. And guess what? I lived up to my word because we got another Indonesian cryptid for you called the Genderuwo. Genderuwo is crazy, or Genderuwa, but it's a mythical creature from Java, Indonesia specifically. It is described as reddish or black-skinned, hairy humanoid with large muscular body. Now, when you look at the artwork for this guy, when you're seeing, based on what I just said, it just sounds like a black guy, and that's fucked up. But what I'm actually looking at when you look at this picture is huge tusks coming out, massive hair, bright white orbs for eyes. The hands are like massive as it's hanging down. Supernatural in nature. This is a part of the mythological culture of Java specifically. They do have the ability to disappear and appear at will, transform into a human, because again, this is like a nature spirit. Doesn't necessarily feel like the right word, but kind of.
Right.
Like, it feels like maybe their version of Sasquatch is the easiest way of putting it. Right? This feels a little, based physically, I mean, other than its ability to fucking teleport and transform into a human.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little different.
It's got a little, some problematic stuff attached to it that we're not going to get into. One of the books associated with it is called Come for Bigfoot.
Oh.
Yeah.
The great granddaddy, huh? This guy's crazy. He's full of all kinds of stuff. He's magnetic. That's a word for it. You know what?
Yeah.
I think Indonesia can keep this one. Thank you so much. This Monster of the Week is a little bit of a fail.
Anyway, that's all we can get into this time. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at So You Want to Be a DM, or you can ask us a question at soyouwannabeadm@gmail.com. If you like the episode, don't forget to give us 5 stars and a review wherever you found us, and check out the Patreon, the Twitch, and our merch with the link in the description. Join us next time for more Dungeon Master tips and tricks.
Bye.
See ya.
By The Eternal Library, where color and community await you. Molly Adeza, who gets yet another level up. Amy Rose Zero. Today, don't forget to touch grass, be kind, and resist fascism. And there's Caden, Elijah, Tappy, and Linguini. Gang, we appreciate and love you. Tune in next time for more tips and tricks from So You Want to Be a DM.